Shalom. Welcome back to 50 Shades of Femininity. This is Sister Yapashana Hafsababi Yeshaya. And all praises, honor, and esteem to the Most High, Yahweh. Coming to you in the faith of a Mashiach Yahushai in the Spirit of Christ. I pray that this recording, this upload reaches all you sisters in good spirits and peace and love. So I want to pick up on where we last left off, speaking about the ideal woman from a man's perspective. This will be like a part 2 because we discussed the qualities of a woman on the spiritual and on a carnal side that make up the whole ideal woman. And so now I want to go through the spiritual qualities and just dissect each one. Okay, that's on that list. And the first one is understands men. So what is important to know is that a man doesn't want you trying to make him over. And a lot of times we come into these relationships already with the mindset that, you know, he has potential, but I can mold him, I can change him, I can sharpen him up, he can be better, right? And I know I come from a line of women in my family who, you know, share that kind of thought pattern, you know, of molding a man. You can mold him. And I've learned that that's just not the right spirit to be in. That's not the right mind to have. And as women, all we need to know is how to make our husbands happy. Okay, women of faith. Because the key is to accept him as the man that he is today. Okay, not who he'll be if we just fix this or fix that. But Abba, the Most High, has called us to a greater work, which is to love our husbands and accept them as they are. Just like the Most High has done for us. You know, he called us out of darkness and when we were at our lowest, you know, and accepted us as we are and gives us space and grace to grow, okay, with much long suffering. And so it'll do us well to just stay humble and remember that the life that we come from and you know, before the faith, and how short we fall from the glory of the Most High, because what we're doing when we try to change and fix people, our husbands in particular, is saying, I'm so much better than him. You know, his flaws are way worse than mine. And I want to read Matthew chapter 7 and verse 5. And it reads, Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. And that's a beautiful scripture, because our husbands, you know, they're our brothers as well. And to remember humility is your essence, is key, and it's vital. A feminine woman is patient and loving and kind, okay, and faithful, and just have that faith in the Most High to do the molding and the changing, you know, in his timing. The Most High has to chasten and mold and break down and build up, and, you know, his growth process could possibly just be slowed down by you standing in the way, you know, thinking that you're helping when you're actually hindering the process. And that's not to say that you don't have the best intentions, but what we have to understand is any inclination that you disapprove of him or that he isn't measuring up to your standards can really lower his self-esteem. Because for a man, it's just as important as if, your security being threatened if you found out that he didn't love you. That would make a woman very insecure, right? So the insecurity that you would feel is on the same level as that for a man. Feeling like he's not, you don't accept him, he's not measuring up. And it's important for a man to feel that his wife is the one secure haven where he can relax and just be himself and feel secure. And if not, it can really destroy his motivation to strive in his faith. And we don't want that, because that's abating his courage. Okay, and that's what a wicked woman does. I'm actually going to read that in the book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 23. It says, a wicked woman abateth the courage, and maketh a heavy countenance in a wounded heart. You wounding his heart, his mind. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. Come on now, we can't be out here doing that. We gotta do much better. And we just gotta recognize what it is that we're doing wrong. And that's why I'm doing these little classes and touching on these things. And I wanted to dive deeper into these beautiful characteristics so that we can, fully understand and embrace and just walk as the best versions of ourselves, through the power of the Holy Spirit, and just ask the Most High to guide our footsteps in this path of righteousness and make his way straight before our face. So, just accept your husbands, and when you do that, you're prioritizing peace and harmony within the home, and that's very important for our children as well to see. Our children need to see Amma and Abba fully committed and loving one another. It provides them with a sense of security, and it'll show them what a Christ-centered marriage looks like. Okay? Note that your open suggestion that he needs to change can lead him to distancing. It can lead to him distancing himself. Okay? And that's not what we want. Okay? We don't want them to shut down. And they might even start avoiding you by being more, on their phones or hanging out with the boys or just other interests and pursuits. Or maybe not even physically distancing themselves, but emotionally, So give him his freedom to be himself so that you can prevent destruction of a happy marriage, because that's the goal, to have a happy marriage. Okay, accept a man at face value. And but understand that this may not mean that he'll change, and you need to accept that. Okay? But in this fascinating way, when you accept him at face value, he's more likely to. Because change is inevitable and people evolve. Okay? Allow him to unfold. The Most High may place other people on his path, maybe an elder or a brotherhood that's rich and edifying. And it's different when it comes from someone else, but the woman that he loves must accept him. Okay, so look to his better side, ladies. It's funny. Men are funny that way, because when it's coming from a wife, it can seem like it's emasculating. When you're telling him, oh, you need to do this, you need to shape up, or that's not, whatever. And then that another person could come, that elder or that brother, and say the same thing that you've been saying for years. And coming from another man, it's like, wow, that was that brother really, what is the word I'm looking for? Just uplifted. That's not the word, but I can't think of it right now. But it's like that brother really uplifted me. That's exactly what I needed to hear. and it's like you thinking in your head, like, what the hell? But it's a man thing, okay? And again, when it's coming from the woman that he loves, it's very important that we look to our husband's better side and just accept them as they are. Okay, and what that means is you're aware that he could be better, but you're not taking on that responsibility, okay, because it belongs to him. So be sure not to have that mindset that, I'm just tolerating him, or I'm just putting up with him, until he change or whatever, because that would be the wrong spirit. And acceptance doesn't mean that you're lying to yourself either, or you're trying to convince yourself that he's something that he is not. So, just understand that acceptance is a happy state of mind, okay, that appreciates your husband for his whole self, flaws and all, okay, just like we would want them to do with it for us, right? So I want you to draw a silhouette of a male figure like we did on our last talk of the female silhouette, and I want you to visualize it and draw an image and color one side a bright color and on the other side a dull color, and the dull side is like, that the dull side is there, but you're not looking at it. All right, so what we're talking about accepting here, and if you take that paper and you turn it to the side and you're only seeing the bright side of him, that's what looking to his better side looks like. And I want you to visualize that image that you write down every time you see your husband and you get that urge to nitpick, to nag, to call him out on certain things. Visualize that picture and say to yourself, I'm looking to his better side. Okay, that's love right there. And I want to name a few things off, some faults that men have that women try to change, to make sure that we're not violating this principle, because acceptance is going to be key in everything else that we're going to talk about. All right, so as far as personal habits, poor eating, bad table manners, poor spelling and grammar, neglect of appearance, a bad temper, depressed moods, untidy habits, especially with like leaving things around the house, or failure to put things on its proper place and hang clothes, and the lack of courtesy. Okay, swearing, smoking, and drinking. Okay, that goes under the list of personal habits. Number 2, how they spend their time. Okay, too much idle time watching TV, in the bathroom, napping on the sofa, away from home with the boys, in sporting events, church responsibilities, or responsibilities for the ministry, outside activities, too involved in too many different things, always in a hurry, fails to come home on time, or fails to call if he's going to be late. Okay, and number 3, duties, neglected house duties, home repair, yard work, fixing things, paying bills on time, neglects or fails to follow through on his word or commitments, or with work. Okay, neglects work for the ministry, undependable with his job, and therefore unsuccessful, lazy or irresponsible. Okay, those are things for duties. Number 4, social behavior. He brags too much in public, he talks too much, or he talks too little. He's careless in conversations, he lacks courtesy in social behaviors. or doesn't have a good choice of friends, or maybe doesn't accept your choice of friends. Okay, number 5, has no drive or ambition. Okay, these are behaviors of like the dreamer. Has no drive or ambition, no zest for life, doesn't have a desire to better himself, underestimates himself, lacks confidence, indecisive about what he wants out of life, moves from one dream to another. Okay, lets good opportunities pass by, no imagination. No imagination about getting ahead in life, and has dreams that require too much risk, maybe. That's another one for that. And just going through all these different things because I want it to be clear. Okay, sisters, like I always say, no temptation has taken you, but such is common to man. So we all deal with different things, and we all have to we have different cross to bear. But it boils down to the same thing, and we're gonna talk about these things. Let's just run through it. Number 6, manly qualities. If your husband isn't masculine enough or fails to lead the family, too soft with the children, or worries too much or too fearful, okay, won't exercise, flabby muscles, okay, that might be an issue for some sisters. Number 7, money, doesn't earn enough, doesn't manage his money well, spends foolishly, maybe he's stingy, spends large amounts without consulting his spouse, his other half. Number 8, neglects children, doesn't take them anywhere, doesn't play with them, doesn't help with homework, and just being unattentive. Okay. Number 9, religion, won't congregate, no interest in your faith, engages in worldly activities on the Shabbat. Okay. And number 10, maybe having trouble keeping his other household in order. So those are I'm not going to get into all the details of a man not having his other household in order that could be affecting you, or troubling him in the spirit, and then him bringing it back to your household, and you having to take on that energy, or just dealing with different things, because it could be so many different things. But these are the things that I wanted to list off. Like I said, to make sure that we're not violating this principle of accepting our husbands. All right. I want to like, as we see, there's just many reasons we try and change our husbands, and we might feel like our life will be happier, or they'll be happier, and we could be more successful, and there's just so many different reasons. We might be trying to save them from themselves, but all you're gonna get in trying to change your husband is resentment, resistance, and discord. So even if you have good intentions, my sisters, no matter how carefully worded, pressuring him to change can just have negative effects, not only on you and on the marriage, but within the household, the children. Okay, because they suffer when they sense discord between their parents, and having peace and love and harmony is just more important. Okay, so just prioritize that. Give him the freedom to pursue his own interests, or to not, but just to do its own thing and to walk his own path and to fall and to learn to get back up. And I want to quote Maya Angelou, one of my favorite quotes, that she says, "Love doesn't bind, love liberates." So when he's given his personal freedom, his mind can function better without those barriers, okay? And he'll open up and be more receptive to new ideas, and he'll be more encouraged to be his better self. Okay, so make space for his growth and his unfolding, and just appreciate his better side. And that's the next thing that we're actually going to be talking about, is appreciation. But a steady diet of praise can motivate him to overcome his weaknesses, okay, and to become a better man. And appreciation can help a man or a child or any individual, grow to their higher potential. So avoid nagging, avoid demands, avoid ultimatums, threats, avoid comparing him to another man's superior virtues, like your father or your brother, because he'll only resent that. Okay, the key to acceptance is humility. And if there does come a time where he may just be totally blind to his faults, that may be just inviting serious problems to his life or failures, and you're certain that he's blind, to what he keeps doing over and over. It's just, when correcting your husbands, be feminine, okay? Don't appear to know more about his business than he does, and avoid being motherly, okay? Or, in that spirit of, it's time to have a man-to-man, a man-to-man talk, avoid that. And I want to leave off with a scripture. It says in the book of, where is it? Let me think for a second, ladies, bear with me. I want to say Timothy or Peter. 1 Peter, yes, 3:2. Maybe I'll start at verse 1. Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear. Okay, so sisters, it's up to us to win our husbands over through inspiring them, accepting them, staying in subjection, but letting our light shine to inspire them to be their better selves. Okay, that's what it all boils down to. And that's how we stay in order and be the best helpmeet and maneuver in our marriage when times get difficult and there are just things that we want to see change or take place. And remember, long suffering to be vital, okay, in these cases. All right, so with that said, I pray that this, as always, I pray that this is edifying and that it speaks to someone and just is helpful. And if you like it, just share it, give it a thumbs up. And until we meet again at 50 Shades of Femininity, Shalom.